Imagine your own mind becoming your prison. The thoughts that define you turn against you, creating a parallel reality where fear is tangible and logic disappears. This is not the plot of a horror film. It is the daily reality for millions of people trapped by severe mental illness. Today, you'll cross the boundary of the unknown and dive into a journey where every story is real and every case reveals the limits of the human mind. We begin in a place that should symbolize life, the family home. Postpartum psychosis is not a fleeting sadness. It is a catastrophic break from reality. Consider Andrea Yates, a nurse and mother of 5. After giving birth, her mind was overtaken by a biochemical storm. Religious delusions convinced her that her children were doomed to hell, and that her ultimate maternal duty, the highest act of love, was to drown them to save their souls. In her mind, she wasn't committing a crime. She was fulfilling a divine mission. This case shows the horror that occurs when the basic instinct to protect is completely distorted by illness. From distorted motherhood, we move to pure paranoia. Paranoid schizophrenia is like living in constant persecution. The voices are not metaphorical. They are auditory entities that comment, insult, and sometimes give orders. John Hinckley Jr., obsessed with actress Jodie Foster, believed through the lens of his illness that only an act of great notoriety, such as attempting to assassinate U.S. President Ronald Reagan, would gain her love. For him, the gunshot was not a political act, but the solution to a puzzle existing only in his fractured mind. A mind can also break through emotional storms. Borderline personality disorder is an internal hurricane. Not just mood swings, but constant agony, an overwhelming fear of abandonment, and a fragile identity that shatters with a glance. Look at Amy Winehouse. Her musical brilliance was the counterpart to an intense internal struggle. Her relationships were chaotic, her self-esteem broken. Her songs were cries for help. Addiction was not the cause of her suffering, but a desperate, failed attempt to self-medicate. On the opposite end of the emotional spectrum lies emptiness. Antisocial personality disorder is not about excess emotion, but total absence, a lack of empathy, guilt, or remorse. Ted Bundy embodied this void. Intelligent, charming, and outwardly normal, he murdered dozens of women without remorse. Even on death row, he spoke about his crimes with clinical detachment. The danger here is in its invisibility. Actions are calculated, not impulsive. Finally, perhaps the most insidious illness, because it doesn't just distort the mind, it erases the very essence of the person. Behavioral variant frontotemporal dementia. It doesn't initially affect memory, but personality, judgment, and self-control. It damages the frontal lobes, the brain's conductor. W.E. wrestler Chris Benoit suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy due to repeated head injuries. His brain deteriorated. He became paranoid, depressed, volatile. In one tragic weekend in 2007, the disease fully consumed the man he once was. He killed his wife and son before taking his own life. Autopsies revealed brain damage comparable to that of a 90-year-old. It raises a terrifying question. At what point does someone stop being responsible when their brain, the biological substrate of their being, has been destroyed? All these stories converge on a single, uncomfortable question. Where do we draw the line between evil and illness? Was Ted Bundy a monster or simply the product of a pathological brain? Was Chris Benoit the killer or a victim of the trauma that destroyed his mind? Our legal systems and daily conversations rely on free will. But what happens when the tool we use to make decisions, the mind, is fundamentally impaired? The greatest danger may not lie only in these disorders, but in our ignorance, fear, and stigma. In the lack of early detection, the limited access to treatment, and the ease of judging instead of understanding. Your mind is the most vast and mysterious territory you will ever encounter. Today, you've explored its darkest abysses. Now this conversation is up to you. Tell me in the comments, do you think our world is ready to face the complex truth behind these illnesses? Or do we prefer denial? If this journey made you think, if you believe it's crucial to keep speaking about this with courage, hit like, share this video, and subscribe. Understanding the mind is the first step to changing the world. Subscribe now